hast es in der Hand. Werde jetzt Mäuschen.
%99% true. I'll be telling you what it is and more all in this video today. Now, I understand when you guys hear new GTA 6 leak, you're probably a little bit skeptical, and that's because you've probably seen thousands of examples of a new GTA 6 leak out there, whether it be gameplay or information or whatever the case is, that ultimately turns out not to be true. In fact, for whatever reason right now, there is a slew of new GTA 6 quote leaks that are appearing on social media, and I don't know if this is just because of the renewed interest in the game as we're only a few months away from release, or if it's the recent announcement that the marketing would start in the summer, so many people are taking it upon themselves to, come up with these leaks themselves. I mean, look at these examples, and they're getting millions of views on social media. There's no point in playing them. They're videos for the most part. This one in particular is GTA 6 gameplay leak. It has 2.1 million views on social media. Thankfully, this one received like a community note, which is oftentimes helpful, that says it's not actual GTA 6 gameplay. But again, you can see 2.1 million views. It's absolutely nuts. Another one right here that is literally just Grand Theft Auto 6. You can see it was posted only a few days ago. 1.2 million views. So it is garnering a ton of attention online. And there was even another one posted recently, and apparently this was a re-upload of the supposed Grand Theft Auto 6 leak footage, and you can see that even the re-upload has nearly 500,000 views. And needless to say, these supposed gameplay leaks are all filled with just weird AI-generated footage. They've got spelling and grammatical mistakes. They feature things that is just totally unlike Rockstar's style, and the internet is talking about it a bunch. You can even see it made it to like the news section of social media. AI-generated GTA 6 leak videos quickly debunked. Now, thankfully, this case, all of this was debunked, but I can understand why some people hear the word GTA 6 leak and go, okay, is it just some AI slot video? Is it some made-up thing that was posted on social media? This one actually is probably 99% true. And so here's what happened. It looks like two music artists have actually recently teased deals with Rockstar Games, and it seems like their songs might be featured in Grand Theft Auto 6. The first song comes from an artist, Panama. Their song, titled Back to Life, is allegedly going to be a part of the game. The song was released in 2023, and whatever reason, they made this post on Instagram. Someone said, literally just watched your Audiotree live performance of Always and How We Feel. Thank you for these songs. I discovered you back on GTA 5 and Forza Horizon 2. What a great call to be in those games. Hashtag Panama forever. And he responded to that individual saying, I've got a song called Back to Life I wrote with Poolside. It'll be on GTA 6. And I do wish I could play the song for you guys in this video, but all you have to do is go on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Music or whatever the case is, and you'll be able to find the song. It really does have that GTA 6 vibe and aesthetic going for it. It feels like South Florida. It feels very tropical, but also doesn't feel unmodern day. Like, it's not a song that, harkens back to like the old Vice City in like the 80s. It's kind of like a modern Vice City song. It's really, really trendy. I like it a lot, actually. Some of these artists that have said their songs have been featured in Grand Theft Auto 6, you listen to them and you're just like, man, I really hope that isn't true. This is one of those songs that I hope is the case and that I hope it is featured. And like the commenter mentioned, this artist, Panama, already has a relationship with Rockstar, as they have had songs featured in Grand Theft Auto 5 in the past. And typically, that's kind of the thing that Rockstar looks for, is people they've worked with in the past, because music is the only thing in the Grand Theft Auto series that Rockstar has to pay a license for. If you think about it, everything else is their own brand. It's their own parody, whether it's soda or cars or clothing. All of that is stuff Rockstar's made up, but the music you hear on the radio, those are real musicians creating real songs. So they have to have license for that, and Rockstar has often sometimes run into issues where over the years, as games get older and older and the license expires, they have to remove songs from the game. So if they have a good relationship with the artist, it typically helps with something like that. But that's not the only song to be confirmed. It looks like another artist, Neon Indian, actually teased during a Spotify podcast that their partnership is seemingly continuing. And they were previously involved making the music behind GTA Online's introductory mission. So again, this was featured on the podcast. This podcast should be played loud, and it happens around the 52 minute mark. It's a pretty long podcast, but I'll show you guys the clip of him talking about that right now.
Game, they were looking at Heat. They were looking at To Live and Die. They were looking at, you know, like LA movies, crime films, you know, and we talked about that as a reference. So, you know, I wanted to capture the essence of that, and you know, wrote a quick song. Sometimes it's the ones you just, you know, you don't put too much thought into that kind of come to last. And Polish Squirrel was then kind of added to the radio station, which was, you know, I think they have like
that. I remember, for whatever reason, I played the old one again semi recently, and then one of your songs just came on the radio in my car while I was driving around, and it made me laugh.
Well, it ain't the end of me and Rockstar Games. I won't. That's all I'm gonna say. I can't discuss more. But yeah,
exclusive scoop here. That's exciting.
So that's pretty cool. I had no idea that Neon Indian made the GTA Online introductory mission. That music is actually pretty cool. There's a lot going on in that cutscene, but the fact that he was responsible for that is pretty cool. And even though he doesn't specifically mention GTA 6, I think it's pretty obvious what he's talking about right here. It's the only possible Rockstar project he could be talking about. Doesn't have anything to do with Red Dead Redemption or RDR2. I don't imagine Rockstar adding new music for what is probably going to be the final Grand Theft Auto Online update this summer. That would just seem like a waste when you could save something like that for GTA 6. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are asking right now, how are these artists able to say something like this? Wouldn't they have signed an NDA? Well, lots of artists have actually broken NDA with Rockstar before, and it's weirdly the musicians that don't seem to care. Like, for example, Snoop Dogg teased a GTA 5 song that was featured for the contract back in 2021. It seems like these big music artists have more power than voice actors and motion capture artists, and they'll just say whatever they want and they'll take the slap on the wrist. Now, what's interesting is the Instagram post has been deleted, so either someone told Panama, like, hey, probably not a good idea for you to say that, or he was contacted by Rockstar, and I guess Neon Indian's post was vague enough that he didn't have to take it down. But I think it's pretty clear that both of these songs are going to be featured, and these artists will be included in the radio stations of Grand Theft Auto 6, which that's one of the things I'm so excited about. The soundtracks of these Rockstar titles are what really make the games feel so realistic and allow you to get immersed into these worlds. But anyways, let me know what you think about this in those comments down below. Essentially, two musicians confirming their involvement in Grand Theft Auto 6 in the soundtrack and in the songs you'll hear on the radio station. I can't wait to get more info on GTA 6, but this is an actual leak that really seems to be true with all the AI slop crap out there. This one is actually something we can kind of like put a pin in and say, all right, we need to be on the lookout for these two songs featured in game. Let me know what you think about this, though, in those comments down below. I would love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you want to stay up to date on all the GTA 6 videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Exodus is shaping up to be one of the most ambitious science fiction.
Verkaufen, aber mit Style. Auf Vinted. Du trägst es nicht? Verkauf's einfach.
Verliebe dich in Raspberry Rendezvous aus der neuen Bridgerton-Kollektion von Dove.
If you think 2026 and 2027 will be quiet years for the gaming industry, let me stop you right there. I've put together 35 AAA games coming over the next 2 years. Massive budgets, next-gen engines, and ambitions aimed straight at the future. Legendary franchises, brand new worlds, and projects that already feel like events, not just releases.
Not for me.
Bitte let it fire.
Divinity marks the next major chapter in Larian Studios' iconic RPG franchise, and was officially unveiled at the Game Awards 2025 as the studio's most ambitious project to date. This is not a remaster or a small-scale sequel, but a full-scale evolution of the series, described as Larian's biggest game ever, with scope and complexity potentially surpassing even Baldur's Gate 3. Early teaser material points toward a dark fantasy world steeped in ritualistic imagery and heavy atmosphere, suggesting a return to the franchise's roots while pushing its systems further than ever before. The game is being developed using Larian's proprietary technology, an internal framework refined through years of RPG design, allowing for deep player choice, systemic interactions, and richly reactive storytelling. The Witcher 4 signals the beginning of a bold new chapter for the legendary fantasy RPG saga, ushering the series into a fresh era under the stewardship of CD Projekt Red and the power of Unreal Engine 5. This time, the spotlight fully shifts to Ciri as the main protagonist, placing her at the center of the narrative as she ventures into unexplored regions of the continent, carving her own path through a world that promises to be deeper, more expansive, and more reactive than ever before. The open world is being reimagined with richer environmental detail, more complex systems, and refined combat and RPG mechanics designed to build on everything the series has learned so far. A technical demo showcased during Unreal Engine presentations offered an early glimpse at what this future might look like, highlighting cutting-edge visuals, dense world geometry, advanced lighting, and smooth performance potential on PlayStation 5 hardware, all while making it clear that the project remains in early development.
The Chosen One! His tradition!
Valor Mortis is an upcoming first-person action Souls-like from the creators of Ghost Runner, plunging players into a dark and twisted alternate version of Napoleonic Europe, where history has rotted into something far more sinister. You step into the role of a fallen soldier brought back from death, his resurrection tainted by a mysterious plague that both curses and empowers him with unnatural abilities. This grim rebirth becomes the foundation for a brutal journey through corrupted battlefields where disciplined formations and familiar uniforms clash with grotesque horrors and supernatural forces. Combat leans heavily into punishing melee encounters, demanding precision, timing, and mastery, while dark powers granted by the plague add a supernatural edge to every confrontation. Control Resonant stands as the official sequel to Remedy Entertainment's acclaimed paranormal thriller Control, and it represents a significant evolution for the franchise in both scope and ambition. Revealed at the Game Awards 2025, the game moves beyond the claustrophobic confines of the oldest house and into a distorted, paranaturally scarred version of Manhattan where reality itself is unstable and unseen. Forces are actively tearing the world apart. This time, the story places you in the role of Dylan Faden, the brother of original protagonist Jesse Faden, as he steps into the center of a cosmic conflict that threatens to unravel existence. Armed with new supernatural abilities and a distinctive shape-shifting melee weapon known as the Aberrant, Dylan must confront forces that defy logic and physics alike. Marvel's Wolverine is the long-awaited single-player action game from Insomniac Games, the studio behind Marvel's Spider-Man, and it promises a raw, ferocious, and deeply character-driven take on one of Marvel's most iconic heroes. Officially confirmed to launch exclusively on PlayStation 5 in fall 2026, the game centers on Logan and delivers the fast, brutal combat that defines Wolverine, pairing visceral, claw-based action with a darker, more grounded narrative tone. This is a story-driven experience that digs into the grit, pain, and violence at the core of the character, pulling no punches as it sends Wolverine across a globe-spanning journey filled with danger and moral conflict. Along the way, familiar figures from the X-Men universe, including characters like Mystique and Omega Red, are set to appear, shaping a narrative that balances personal struggle with high-stakes encounters.
I'm Wolverine.
Exodus is shaping up to be one of the most ambitious science fiction RPGs in years, positioning itself as a spiritual successor to Mass Effect, while embracing a heavier, more grounded take on hard sci-fi and cinematic storytelling. Developed by Archetype Entertainment, a studio founded by veteran BioWare creators, including James Olin and Drew Karpyshyn, the game places narrative depth and player choice at its core. You play as June Aslan, a genetically enhanced salvager operating on the fringes of humanity in deep space, who becomes entangled in a morally complex struggle for the survival of the human race against highly evolved enemies known as the Celestials. The story explores themes of time dilation, interstellar travel, and the devastating consequences of decisions made across vast distances and timelines.
Salvaging scraps just to get by. And we will fight to protect it!
Gang of Dragon is a brand new action-adventure project from Nagoshi Studio, led by Toshihiro Nagoshi, the creative force behind the Yakuza and Like a Dragon franchise, and it immediately wears that legacy with confidence while carving out its own identity. Officially revealed at the Game Awards 2025, the game presents itself as a gritty evolution of the crime drama brawler, grounded in raw physicality, street-level conflict, and a distinctly cinematic tone. The debut trailer teases a world steeped in urban realism, evoking Kabukicho-style chaos through brutal bar fights, explosive street confrontations, and tightly framed, visceral encounters that emphasize impact and momentum. Every punch, throw, and clash feels deliberate and weighty, reinforcing a sense of grounded violence rather than spectacle for spectacle's sake.
On your feet, now!
OD is the enigmatic new project from Hideo Kojima and Kojima Productions, developed in partnership with Xbox Game Studios and positioned as one of the most mysterious titles currently in production. Described as a horror-leaning, deeply immersive cinematic experience, the game is built around Kojima's fascination with fear, psychology, and emotional endurance, with the creator himself stating that the goal is to test the player's fear threshold in ways games rarely attempt. Though concrete details remain scarce, a teaser trailer and surrounding leaks suggest a strong emphasis on atmosphere, tension, and unsettling realism, all powered by Unreal Engine 5 to achieve lifelike visuals and an oppressive sense of presence. Rather than traditional horror conventions, OD appears to explore discomfort, perception, and psychological unease, blurring the line between player and experience in a way that feels experimental, intimate, and unmistakably Kojima in its ambition. Tomb Raider: Legacy of Atlantis is officially revealed as a full reimagining of the original 1996 Tomb Raider, rebuilt from the ground up in Unreal Engine 5 and announced at the Game Awards 2025 as a bold return to Lara Croft's very first adventure. This is not a simple remaster, but a comprehensive modernization that seeks to honor the spirit of the original while expanding and refining nearly every aspect of the experience for modern audiences. Environments ranging from dense jungles to ancient ruins and forgotten tombs are larger, richer, and more detailed, with enhanced traversal, reworked combat, and reimagined puzzles designed to feel fluid and cinematic without losing their classic identity. The iconic quest for the Scion artifact returns with revamped mechanics and presentation, weaving exploration, danger, and discovery into a more immersive narrative flow.
I didn't know then.
You, just you, building your app on base 44. Describe it.
To uncover the secrets of Atlantis.
Halo Campaign Evolved is a ground-up remake of the original Halo, Combat Evolved, rebuilt using Unreal Engine 5 and designed to go far beyond a visual overhaul. Classic missions are reimagined with high-fidelity 4K visuals, modern lighting, updated animations, enhanced controls, and expanded level design that brings familiar battlefields to life with greater scale and detail. At the same time, the remake introduces new bonus missions and expanded narrative elements that were never part of the 2001 release, giving longtime fans fresh content while preserving the core identity of the original campaign. The result is a version of Halo that feels both faithful and revitalized, bridging generations of players.
We'll keep them busy as long as we can.
Fire Team Charlie, we're on our way.
Somebody go to a warthog.
Atomic Heart 2 is the official sequel to Atomic Heart, continuing and expanding its retro-futuristic Soviet-inspired science fiction universe through the power of Unreal Engine 5. Building on the foundations of the first game, the sequel scales the experience outward to a global level, broadening its world while deepening its systems. Larger and more diverse environments support more varied combat scenarios, enhanced abilities, and expanded role-playing mechanics that offer greater player freedom and customization. The game leans further into its distinctive blend of surreal technology, ideological tension, and explosive action, refining its mechanics while preserving the strange, unsettling tone that defined the original. While a concrete release date has yet to be announced, Atomic Heart 2 is positioned as a more ambitious continuation of its predecessor, aiming to push both its narrative and gameplay into bolder, more expansive territory. Replaced is a cyberpunk action platformer that has steadily built anticipation over the years, and now finally stands with a confirmed release, ready to deliver its striking vision of a broken future. You play as Reach, an artificial intelligence forcibly trapped inside a human body, struggling to survive in an alternate version of 1980s America, where nuclear devastation, systemic corruption, and social decay have reshaped everyday life into something bleak and unforgiving. The game unfolds through cinematic 2.5D platforming, blending fluid movement, precise combat, and environmental puzzles into tightly choreographed sequences that feel both mechanical and emotional. Every location drips with atmosphere, from rain-soaked streets to decaying industrial zones, reinforced by a synth-heavy soundtrack that amplifies the dystopian mood. Star Citizen Squadron 42 is the long-awaited single-player campaign set within the expansive Star Citizen universe, crafted as a cinematic space combat and narrative-driven experience that has been in development for well over a decade. Players step into the role of a rookie pilot enlisted in the United Empire of Earth Navy's elite 42nd Squadron, thrust into a galaxy-spanning conflict filled with pirates, alien threats, and political tension. The experience blends intense space dogfighting with on-foot combat, story-driven missions, and character interactions that place heavy emphasis on immersion and choice. Relationships formed throughout the campaign and decisions made during key moments are designed to carry narrative weight, reinforcing the sense that you are an active participant in a living military drama rather than a passive observer.
Just to craft an experience that we can be really proud of.
So that's why I figured I'd get a job trying in security, because that's
In the Battle of Vega, you can look them in the eye and say,
Saros is a high-profile action title from Housemarque, the studio behind Returnal, and it stands as one of the most anticipated PlayStation 5 exclusives currently on the horizon, built entirely in Unreal Engine 5. The game places you in the role of Arjun Devraj, a Soltarian forcer sent to investigate the mysterious planet Carcosa, a world permanently trapped beneath the shadow of an eclipse. Combat blends Housemarque's signature bullet hell intensity with third-person action, demanding constant movement, sharp reflexes, and mastery over overwhelming enemy encounters. Central to the experience is a defensive shield system that absorbs incoming fire and converts it into devastating counterattacks, rewarding aggressive, skillful play. Progression introduces a major evolution from Returnal's roguelike structure, allowing players to permanently upgrade gear across runs, ensuring that each defeat still pushes you forward.
I will make everything
here. We've lost people. There's no way to get home, and you...
And I will find you.
Onimusha Way of the Sword marks the long-awaited return of Capcom's legendary action series after nearly 2 decades, resurrected with modern technology through the RE engine and scheduled for release in 2026. Set in a dark fantasy interpretation of feudal Japan, the game centers on intense, deliberate sword combat defined by precise timing, parries, and lethal counterattacks against demonic Genma forces. You take on the role of a legendary samurai loosely inspired by the historical figure Miyamoto Musashi, wielding the supernatural Oni Gauntlet to absorb souls, unleash devastating powers, and stand against grotesque horrors that stalk the land. Each duel is framed as a deadly test of skill, blending visceral action with atmospheric tension in beautifully rendered environments steeped in myth and menace.
Cheers! And after everything you and your awful kind put him through, something to cheer you up.
Crimson Desert is Pearl Abyss' ambitious open-world action RPG, built on the studio's proprietary Black Space engine and designed as a standalone single-player epic set in a brutal, war-torn fantasy world. The story unfolds across the vast continent of Pywall, where constant conflict has shattered kingdoms and left survival hanging by a thread. You play as Cliff McDuff, a hardened mercenary navigating the aftermath of devastation while attempting to endure, rebuild, and carve meaning from chaos. The game blends dynamic melee combat with expansive exploration and a wide range of side activities, encouraging players to lose themselves in a living world filled with rival factions, towering bosses, and richly detailed environments. Once connected to the lore of Black Desert Online, Crimson Desert now stands entirely on its own, focusing on a grounded narrative, personal struggle, and large-scale warfare to create an immersive fantasy journey driven by action,